everybody, it is Johnny, and this is a video response for Alicia. She has a store, and her store is AliciasGlitzandmore. She's gonna have a challenge, and so you need to rush on over. I will put the link below and show you where her challenge is. Go on over and watch it and see everything and the great goodies that she's going to have. And you have lots of chances. If you do a video response, you get some entries. If you send her someone else's challenge through an email, you get entries. If you make something shabby, anything you desire, and send it to her, you also get some entries. So run on over and do that. In the meantime, I also, while I'm talking about Alicia, she had on the Facebook group some things that she was selling, and it was such a bargain, and they arrived today. So she always has really, really cool stuff. So I want to show you what I got. I think that's it. Yeah, here we go. So here, let me, hopefully you can see this. Wait. You can see her Zibbit store, her email, and her YouTube. So there you go. She has great stuff. And she has a lot of stuff she puts on Facebook. She makes kits. And so this kit, I think it was $25, including shipping, and as you can see, it came in a priority flat rate envelope, so it's pretty cool. I'm going to move this aside first and show you that there was 2 yards of this lace, and I love this lace because it is elasticy, rubbery. I don't know what you call it. I guess it stretches. And so if you're doing something and you haven't cut exactly the right amount, you can usually stretch it to make it around an edge. I've done that before. Does it sound familiar to any of you? Or I'm the only one who goes to cut something and then it's not right. Anyway, I already had some of her angels that were gifted to me by Julie Monroe. And I wanted some more for me, and I wanted to give some away. So in that kit, look at all these angels. And you can paint them, or you can spray them, or you can leave them alone. So anyway, let me get, sorry about that, I'm going to turn around. Okay, I'm going to put them back because the bags have broken open just because of shipping. So, got all of those. Got this gorgeous lace. Then, look at this. 2 brand new rolls. And let me get these scissors here. The reason I want to open this up is to show you the beautiful shade. And I hope it does show. You can see it says pink. But the beautiful shade of pink that these are. They're so pretty. A whole entire roll. And if that wasn't enough, look at this. An entire roll of these. And I think it says cream. Yes, it says cream on here. But it's more like a yellowy, buttery kind of cream, if that makes sense. I don't know how it's showing up, but it's a very soft, buttery shade, and it's like a cream and a yellow mixed up, but a whole roll. And if that wasn't enough, I'm going to leave that for last. Look at these flowers. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous. Love these. And then 3 stems of these. These are so pretty. Sorry, I'm trying to put them back inside so they don't get knocked on the floor. And then, oops, like that one. It landed in my lap. Yay! These beautiful little appliques. Pretty. There's 5 of those. And then these with the little pearls. I think there were 5 of these also. Yes. Oops. Pretty. And then these rolled roses. And again, there were 5 of those. Love those. Thank you so much. And then look at this. This is what actually drew me to this package, because I've, as you know, everybody's on the gold kick, and I've been looking for some gold flowers. So, okay, but these are sort of like crepe paper, I want to say, but I've had these in the past, and oh my gosh, these take the sprays so well. You can make these any color. So there is 3 bunches of those. Love them. And then look at these. Aren't these gorgeous? There's 3 bunches of these rosebuds. Couldn't even pick them up. In gold. Yummy! Yum, yum. And then look at these. This is like the white one that was in there. These are gorgeous, and they have the little gold beads on the tips. You need to go to her store. And I think she said she's going to start putting kits out once a week on her Facebook page. And forgive me if I'm wrong, I thought she said every Wednesday is when she's going to put it out. So, I have to see. And then these, which I love. Look at all of those. There's quite a few. And these are a little bit lighter than those pearls are, but they're still a nice soft buttery shade. And if that wasn't enough, OMG, let me take this off of here and move this. Then she sent bling. Oh my goodness. You could get the package, I think, for $20 without the bling, and it was $5 more for the bling, which was only $1 a piece for this. I mean, really? Look at these. My gosh. Gorgeous, right? Look at this double heart. I just am crazy over this. I think that's my favorite one. They're all beautiful. This one looks like a crown. Anyway, please go and check her store out. Go and check out her challenge. I will put the link below to both of them, to her challenge and to her store, so you can check it out. I wanted to tell y'all a little story. You know I always say no biting, no fighting. Share the love, give a hug. Be nice to someone. And I'm going to tell you why I say this. Back in the early 90s, for a while, I actually was working for a gentleman who had no family really left, at least where we were living. He had some grown sons and grandchildren that were also going to college and everything, but he didn't have any family near him. And I used to go, I started going just 3 times a week, and I would do his insurance forms. He loved to do stocks. He had 4 televisions set in his living room, and he had 2, and then he had the other 2 on top, and he had a soap opera on one, he had the news on another, he had the weather on another, and on the other one he had the stocks constantly going. And so I would do all kinds of paperwork and stuff for him. And as his health started failing more and more, I started coming a little bit more and a little bit more, and then it was 5 days a week, and then it was, instead of 3 or 4 hours, it was 5 or 6 hours, until finally I was taking him to his doctor's appointments and filling out his prescriptions. He was retired captain in the Air Force, so I would go to the base and get medicines and stuff like that for him. And he used to tell me the greatest stories. He was in the book of Who's Who's. He was a retired attorney, very, very, very popular, and lots and lots of honors, but a brilliant, brilliant man. And he was in his middle to the little bit later 80s. And it got to a point where he was you know, feeling so poorly. I was trying to hire nurses for him that would stay 24/7, and they would come and he wouldn't like them, and he'd fire them, and he'd call me up and he'd say to me, I kicked that one out. So anyway, push came to shove, and the last couple of weeks of his life, he asked me if I would stay 24 hours a day, and he would, you know, pay me for it, which I tried to say, no, 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 I don't have the experience. And he said, well, it's more for company than anything, and, you know how to dial a phone. But one night, at night, I would, he had a really hard time hearing because he had cancer in his mouth and throat, and he had hearing aids, and so that affected his taste. He couldn't eat anything, and in other words, nothing tasted good, and he had a difficult time hearing. Well, I would sit on a little stool in front of his recliner, and he would tell me stories of when he was in the Air Force. And he told me one day, he was saying a story about one time when he was flying and there was lots of gunfire, and he said, you know, if you heard ping, 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 you were okay, but if you heard ping, squish, ping, you felt around and looked around to see where or who that bullet went through. Anyway, he had all these limericks and stuff. Well, he was also suffering from congestive heart failure, and so his legs would be really, really, really swollen. And I'm a very touchy-feely, huggy-kissy kind of a person. So, you know, before I stayed with him, when I first got there every day, I would hug and kiss him. Before I left, I would hug and kiss him. While I was there in the mornings when he woke up and I helped him up, I would always hug and kiss him. And at night, when I would help him into bed, I would, you know, hug and kiss him and sit there with him for a few minutes. Anyway, I was sitting there, and his legs were so swollen. So I gently started to just rub from his ankles up, because his feet were up on the recliner. He was, you know, his feet were up. And I was just trying to help the swelling go down. And he started to cry. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have hurt this man. I have hurt him. And I was trying to be as gentle as I can. And forgive me if I cry. And I said, oh my God, his last name began with the Mac. And I used to call him Big Mac and Mac the Knife and stuff like that. And so I said, Mac, what did I do? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was trying to help. And he said, no, you didn't hurt me. He said, I just want you to know you're the only one who touches me anymore. Now, we had a nurse that came in every day and checked his vitals, and she was the one who did help him with his shower, because that wasn't something I could do. I didn't feel, you know, able, God forbid, if he were to fall. I wasn't trained in any of that stuff. But when the nurses came, they took his temperature, they took his pulse, they, you know, then they put the cuff on him and they took his blood pressure. But that was it. And so when I say share the love, give someone a hug, it's because I remember this man alone, and no one ever touched him. And the human touch is so important. It is so important. So please, guys, remember, give someone a hug. And if you don't have anybody in your house, put your arms around yourself and give yourself a hug, because it really does mean a lot to people. And some people might not like it, but you can always just touch their hand, pat their shoulder. You know, there's always some small way that, you know, you can show that you have compassion and love. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, guys. Be well, everyone. Pink Alicious hugs. Ciao, ciao, ciao.